What's up, guys? I'm Bobby Douglas, and I'm back with another full game prospect breakdown. And today we're going to be looking at Arizona power forward Zeke Nnaji. Zeke Nnaji has a really long frame. He's 6'11", pretty skinny, only 240 pounds, but he was arguably the most important player on this Arizona team, and he didn't really demand the ball a lot. He led the team in scoring at 16.1 points a game. He also averaged close to 9 rebounds a game. And again, he was the third most heralded recruit out of this Arizona freshman recruiting class because this class also featured Nico Mannion and Josh Green, two likely first-round picks, alongside of Nnaji himself. So let's get right into it. The only game online of Arizona this year is against Baylor, and they lost this game. Nobody really performed that great for Arizona, but this is the only game we have on YouTube, so that's the one we're going to go with. So I will, let's get right into it here. Full screen, and then I will slide this up. And then, yeah, here we go. So, he's number 22. Whoops. There we go. He's number 22 for Arizona, and he'll usually operate out of the post, but he can also hold his own a little bit on the perimeter. So right now he's posting up, looks like Tristan Clark. Yeah. And again, he's a pretty solid mover without the ball. Again, look how long and lanky he is. Remember, he's 22 on Arizona, so he's right. We'll get a close-up of him soon, but again, he didn't really come into this year as being seen as a surefire draft pick. He was more of a guy that was expected to stay 2 or 3 years, but he really burst onto the scene this year at Arizona. And again, not really a great year for the two most heralded Arizona freshmen, Nico Mannion and Josh Green. I believe I have Nico Mannion as a mid-second round pick, which is lower than a lot of experts. Josh Green I have in the first round. Zeke Nnaji I also have in the first round. I believe I have Zeke Nnaji at the top of the Arizona freshman trio, but it might be Josh Green as well. So right now he's on Freddie Gillespie, who is a top 100 player for me, and did a good job fighting for that rebound there. You got it. But again, look how slender he is. He's going to have to put on weight. Usually I don't necessarily worry about guys putting on weight. That seems to be a pretty easy thing for them to do unless you're like Brandon Ingram or someone, but even now he's starting to fill out a little bit more. So maybe it'll take a few years, but see, look how Freddie Gillespie just kind of bullied him off his spot right there. That's an interesting thing to watch. But then watch, he's posting up right now. Didn't really get. And also this game is weird because there's no scoreboard for like half of the first half, so I apologize for that. But again, this is literally the only Arizona game I have that I found on YouTube. So what I'm probably going to do, I'm going to probably space out the Arizona players a little bit, so that way we're not watching the same game 3 times in a close proximity, because I could see why that gets annoying. But I probably show this game 3 times just to highlight different players. So today is Zeke Nnaji. I'll do Nico Mannion and Josh Green at a later time. So Nnaji is being guarded by Tristan Clark, and he's open there. But Josh Green, it doesn't look like hit him. So he's posting up on Davion Mitchell, and they didn't get him the ball. Travel, so yeah, there's that scoreboard that I was talking about. It goes in and out throughout this first half, so I apologize for that again. This game was also interesting because this is almost an Arizona home game, because the day of this game, Baylor, their football team was in the Big 12 championship against Oklahoma, so all the Baylor fans were there instead of here. So you could see you could look at, it'll show around center court, like all these seats are open and stuff, and there's really nobody at this game. So that was kind of funny. So Nnaji hasn't really been involved on either end yet so far. Again, this wasn't one of his stronger games. He averaged like 16 points. I believe he only scored 12 this season, or in this game. So he kind of got a little bit bullied there on the box out. It didn't ultimately hurt him because the shot went in. But again, he didn't have both his feet planted. And see, that's a charge. I don't necessarily agree with that call. But yeah, I do think he has a little bit of perimeter skills. I don't know how great of a shooter he can be at the next level. He only shot around 29% from 3, which isn't necessarily a death sentence type of percentage, because he did shoot 76 from the line, which is better. But it'll just be interesting to see how he develops that shot. So he's kind of staying home. He's still on Gillespie in the post right now. Did a good job fighting for that rebound. That was just a hodgepodge of people in the middle of the lane right there. And right now I have Zeke Nnaji, I believe 24th on my big board. And again, this big board, I have a top 100 in place right now. Did a good job sealing off Gillespie there a little bit for an open layup. But these big board rankings are, flexible. I can adjust them at any time, especially as guys start to go back to college. I'm going to need more players to bump up. But yeah, right now I have him locked in at 24. So late first round. You can see right now, like, Josh Green and Nico Mannion have really been, like, ball dominant. This is early in the season, so Nnaji hasn't really been the primary focus of the offense, but that's one of his strengths, I think, in the NBA, is that he can really impact the game without getting a lot of touches. He's a high efficiency guy. He shot 57% from the floor in college, and that's with being pretty skinny. And a lot of his shots are coming in on the block and down low. We'll skip these free throws. So now he's on Mark Vital, who just had a flex screen for Jared Butler. Good job boxing out Vital. Vital's one of the better, more physical offensive rebounders in the Big 12, so that was a good play. He's a pretty alert off-ball defender. He closed out that's a really, really good closeout. That's an unbelievable closeout from Nnaji right there. He stayed in front really well. He didn't bite onto Mark Vital pump fake. That's a scouting report play because Vital's not the strongest three-point shooter. Really well done. But he's really good at moving without the ball and moving without guarding the ball on defense. I'll tell you, that's one of his main strengths. He's a very aware defender. And look, that looks fine. That there's no weird form with that. So there is hope for his three-point shot. And I think if he can develop that, I think he can be a very effective NBA player. And there's Matt Rule. Skip ahead here. So here's Nnaji out of the pick and roll, and Mannion just totally avoided it. Got a nice floater off, though. This game features 5 top 100 players for me. 3 from Arizona, 2 from Baylor. The 3 from Arizona I've mentioned, Nico Mannion, Zeke, and Josh Green. The 2 from Baylor, Jared Butler, number 12, and Freddie Gillespie, number 33. Good job kind of using his body to knock, looked like might have been Devontae Bandu out of bounds. So again, you see he's not really getting a lot of touches. Let's see what he does here. See, that's a decent pass. He kind of read it well. It was kind of just clunky out of his hands, but that's something he may need to improve on. But I think ultimately his frame is his biggest weakness right now, I would say. That time he was late getting back. He jogged back. And it led to a layup for Gillespie. And we will skip ahead. And Nnaji's out here, actually, so I will skip ahead to 15:53. Here we go. Probably a mistimed jump there. Another weakness about Nnaji is that you'd like to see him be a better shot blocker because he's really long. He only averaged about a block a game, and he had a block rate of 3.3%, which isn't very high for someone his size with his length. Let's see how he operates in the post. See, again, that's just a poor read. He's no Obi Toppin out of the post in terms of passing. He kind of misread where the double team came from, led to a turnover. And again, that's what you expect. This guy isn't like a top 15 level prospect by any means. So I'll skip this. Was in a decent position for that rebound, just a little bit beyond his reach. It's a pretty good offensive rebounder, too. Again, he usually probably feasted on guys that weren't necessarily, that didn't really have his length in college, but. So here he is in the post. Let's see what he does here. Again, he kind of gets, another turnover. He traveled there. Again, I believe he had Nico Mannion open on the ball side at the top of the key, and he said he kind of went for a covered cross-court pass. He's not really good when pressured out of the post. I think we've seen that several times, and so far he really hasn't had any positive impact on the game. And I apologize. I would have liked to show a better game, but again, this is the only game Arizona had that's fully online or on YouTube. The Pac-12, I noticed, is really bad with having full games online. I couldn't find any for USC, so no Onyeka Okongwu yet. Couldn't find any for Stanford, so no Tyrell Terry. That's a good physical rebound from him there. But yeah, the Pac-12 is really just not good at just getting these games uploaded. But I do think he's a good team defender, and I think he's a good individual defender as well, especially once he gets stronger. Again, he's very active. He kind of knows where he is on the floor. He knows where the ball is. Ball you, man. He's very good at that. And obviously, he's a freshman. He's going to have a few lapses, but overall, I do think that there is reason to believe he'll be a really good system defender at the minimum at the NBA level. And we'll skip these free throws. There's the ESPN 1/3 graphic that we all love. Gets a good job just catching it and going up strong with it. In terms of his role in the NBA, I see him mainly as an energy big that you're going to bring off the bench. He'll be a rotational piece. I don't think he's capable of necessarily being a starter unless a lot of things improve in his game. But, I do think he'll be a valuable rotation piece in the NBA. Did a good job walling up there. Ended up forcing the travel. He was a little bit hunched over, so if... I don't know who that is for Baylor. Wow, I usually know a lot of Baylor players, but I don't know who that is. But, if he had gone up with that, he probably would have... Nnaji... Oh, that's Flo Thamba. But if Thamba had gone up with that, he might have gotten called for a foul, but he didn't. But overall, decent verticality. So he's in the post right now on Matt Meyer from Baylor. And again, see, Arizona, they're a perimeter-oriented team. They're not really looking at Nnaji a whole lot down there. Good job tagging. I believe that was Flo Thamba right there. He did a good job tagging. Didn't really go up for that rebound though. Again, as he gets strength, I think he has the energy capacity to do that. It's just gonna be a matter of doing it more often now. In a decent spot there for a rebound. Does more of his work in the second half, obviously. That's a big block from, I believe that's Christian Koloko. See, I almost think that Koloko could be a better prospect than any of these Arizona guys because he's super long, he's physical, he's big, he got a good frame. But I don't know if he's even, I don't even know his class. He might be a senior already. I'm going to look it up right now, actually. Christian Koloko. Oh, he was a freshman this year? Oof. Okay, yeah, I think Koloko. Hot take right here. Christian Koloko will be a first-round pick in the NBA draft. I don't know which NBA draft, but he'll be a first-round pick. See what I had here? He did a good job. He had a good steal on Freddie Gillespie there. Shot went in, though. That's Jared Butler, I believe, who made that shot. And I have him as a first-round pick. And he's being seen as on the fence in terms of NBA draft. Will he stay or go? But I really think, I think he's a first-round pick. I think he should probably go. But I would love him to stay because if he stays, I think Baylor's going to win it all. So let's see him operate. Okay, you wouldn't want. Zeke pretty much allowed that split from Jared Butler. Butler's one of the craftier handlers in college basketball, but still, you kind of let that split happen too easily if you're Zeke Nnaji. There's something on the floor, so let's skip this. And this was the first free throw, I guess. Damn. I'm just gonna let this play out. Really not. And so you look, I don't think Zeke Nnaji's taken a shot yet. And again, they didn't really do a good job finding him and utilizing him, especially earlier in the season. Later in the season, he got better and more involved in the offense. But his role early in the season for Arizona was more of just a glass eater, a garbage man type. Decent pass right there, a little bit off, but good read. And that's pretty much a set play, though. He probably rehearsed that thousands of times. I don't really necessarily see him as a big-time distributor out of the post. We've seen him struggle handling double teams and stuff out of the post, especially. So, I don't know. I think there's limited upside in that capacity of his game. So he's hit a little down screen there for Ira Lee. See, that's the type of stuff he brings. He's just an energy big right there. He got that rebound / loose ball. And that's his early role in the NBA. That's how he's going to get onto the floor. He's just going to be a garbage man, I think. Shooting free throws here? I don't believe we are. No. He also has great hair. His profile picture on Basketball Reference is just kind of a mop and it's like hanging down. That doesn't look that great. When he has it up like this, like the Kobe White style, it's pretty solid. See what he does here. See, that's another. Okay, talk about learning from your mistakes. He has 2 fouls, 3 turnovers. Two of his turnovers were both charges that happened exactly like that. Mark Vital's one of the best at just getting his body set up and just falling like that. But still, you got to know, especially when you're called for that early in the game. You kind of got to see that coming, I think. So he's out because he has 2 fouls. He eventually fouls out in this game, but it's with like less than a second left. So he's out right now. Where is he out? Yeah, he's out right now. So then I will skip to 39-10 is when he's back in. So here we go. So he's back in. Baylor has a 14-point lead, and Nnaji has gotten very little touches. It's a good play. I like that play. The little misdirection, then it's a little alley-oop play. But I think they can run it better, obviously. But I think there's a better variation to that I think you could run. But I don't really want to explain it now. And again, in a normal draft, I don't know if I would have Nnaji as a first-round pick. The reason why I do have him as a first-round pick because I do think this draft is weaker than most, and 2, it's as a result of it being a weak draft. It's also a draft for fit and draft for need draft instead of a draft for upside and talent and best player available. I do legitimately think that we're going to see a lot of trade downs and stuff, but with Nnaji, I do think his role is clear enough to the point where he warrants taking him in the first round. But in a normal draft, when you're looking for best available, I wouldn't take him in the first round. But this draft, I just think his role is so unique that I think he could go earlier than in this draft than he would in others. Good job contesting. High hands. Closed out well. Choppy feet. That was a good play. See, he just got mowed down by setting that screen, and that's Maceo Teague, and he's like a 6'6" guard. It's kind of funny. He just got totally taken aback. So right now, I believe he is. let's see. I think he has one more play. Or no, never mind. No, that's it. So that's it for the first half for him. Obviously, he has 2 fouls, so they want to limit his minutes. We didn't see a lot from him in the first half, but, obviously the second half will be better because he finishes with 12 points. I think he has 0 right now. So, yeah, something to look out for. Again, I see him as an energy big and a team that drafts him in the first round because he just fills a void instead of really banking on upside or talent. Obviously, he does have room to grow. I don't think he's reached his ceiling yet physically or in terms of his skill set. But right now, I do think in the early few years of his career, if he's going to stick around in the NBA, it's going to be due to him going after loose balls, getting offensive rebounds, winning extra possessions for his team. So we'll see more of that in the second half, and I'll end the video here. And thanks for watching as always. Second half will be coming soon. Thanks.